So hello guys, welcome to the 12th lecture of this chapter. So in the last lecture we solved from question number 1 to 3 of exercise 3.5, right? So in this lecture we'll continue with the exercise itself guys. This is like part 2 of the solving exercise 3.5. So in the last lecture first 3 questions we completed. Let's go to the fourth question now guys. So in fourth question guys, I want to tell you one thing. The thing is the fourth question is a bit, the questions are too lengthy. Yeah, the questions are too long. So if I write it in the board, right, maybe more than half of the part of the board will be covered with the question itself. I won't have the space to do the solution, to solve it. So one request guys, in this lecture only, because the questions are large, so I'll not be writing the question, I'll directly be doing the solutions. So see the question by yourself from your textbook in your home, right? Or else, yeah, or you can just browse exercise and you can see the question from the internet as well. So I'll be doing only the solution part. I'll explain the solution part, how to approach the question, right? This is only one request guys, specifically in this question, because it's too long. That's the only reason, right? So I'll read out the first sub question of the fourth question guys. Done. A part of monthly hostel charge is fixed and remaining depends on the number of days one has taken food in the mess. When student A takes food for 20 days, she has to pay rupees 1000 as a hostel charge, whereas a student B who takes food for 26 days pays rupees 1180 as a hostel charge. Find the fixed charge and the cost of food per day. Okay, before the first part question, the fourth main question says, form the pair of linear equation in the following problems and find the solution if exist by any algebraic method. Awesome guys. So the fourth question in the exercise, they have not specifically mentioned as cross multiplication method or substitution or elimination. Whichever method you feel easy, or whichever method you are comfortable with that method you can solve. So they have given that there is a hostel guys, right? In the hostel, the fees which you have to pay in the hostel as the fees which you have to pay to the hostel depends on two things guys. One is the fixed charge and one more is the variable charge, that is the food you eat in the mess, right? So they have given two conditions. There is a fixed amount which you have to always pay, that let us consider as X, and the food in the mess per day, let's consider it as Y rupees per day, right? So first step is assumption, right? So let X be the fixed charge, right? Let X be the fixed charge of hostel fee. Oh, hostel, is the spelling correct? Yeah, hostel fee. Done. And then let Y be the mess fee per day. Done. So now what you will be doing, let's formulate it now. They are saying person A, right? When student A takes food for 20 days, she pays rupees 1000. So it is X plus for person A. For person A, right? X is fixed for both, right? That's the fixed price which you have to pay for the hostel. Plus now food for 20 days means 20Y is equal to 1000 rupees. Person A paid 1000 rupees. So this is the first equation, and the second equation is X plus for person B. Person B, it becomes like X plus 26 days, which means 25Y equal to 1180. That's it guys. These are the two equations. Let's consider this as equation 1 and this as equation 2. Now we can solve this using any method as they have given. So which method let's use guys? So I would not tell you to use cross multiplication, because I'll tell you the reason. Because the numbers are a bit big, right? In cross multiplication the numbers will keep on becoming big, so it might lead to some calculation error, or the calculation might will be difficult, right? So in this case, if you see, elimination or substitution is the best guys, because if you see already both are same, right? In elimination, if you remember the term with X, right, the term with X or Y, any of these two terms should be same to cancel it out by elimination, right? That was elimination method. If you see both x are here, already they are both same, right? So you can easily eliminate them by just subtracting it, and then you will directly get the equation with only y and this number. Then you can find the value of y. You can put the value of y back into any of these two equations and find the value of x. As simple as that. So we will be following which method? Elimination method, guys. So by elimination method, let's solve by elimination method. Okay, I will do the subtraction now. Correct? If I do subtraction, what happens? Minus, plus becomes minus, and plus becomes minus. It will become x and minus x gets cancelled, right? Done. Cancelled. 20y minus 26y becomes equal to minus 6y, and here equal to 1000 minus 1800, 1180 becomes equal to minus 180. Correct? Now minus minus will get cancelled, right? It's both the sides minus, so 6y will become equal to 180. Y will become equal to 180 by 6, which will become equal to 30. So the value of y is 30, which means the fee per day for the mess, that is 30 rupees per day is the mess fee. Right, now let's substitute the value of y back into the equation and find the value of x. So here we'll be writing as substituting spelling mistake. Right, substituting y in equation 1. Now if I substitute it becomes like 30 plus 20y equal to 1000. Right, now let's take the 20 to the 30 to the other side. It becomes 20y equal to 1000 minus 30. It becomes 970. So y becomes equal to, sorry guys, sorry, I did a small mistake. In place of x I substituted the value of y, that is we have to find x, right? Plus 20 into y, so y was 30 equal to 1000. Now let's do the calculation, guys. X plus this is 600 equal to 1000. So x will become equal to 1000 minus 600, that is it will become equal to 400. That's it, guys. So the final conclusion is the fixed hostel fee is 400. Mess fee per day equal to 30 rupees. Both are rupees. That's it, guys. As simple as that. Now I'll move aside. You can take the screenshot. Done. Now after this, let's go to the second sub question. Right, now let's go to the second sub question. Let's read out the second sub question now. It says a fraction becomes 1 by 3 when 1 is subtracted from the numerator, and it becomes 1 by 4 when 8 is added to the denominator. Find the fraction. Done. They are telling it's quite similar, guys. We have already done problems like this. They're telling a fraction becomes 1 by 3. So first we have to assume the fraction, right? Let's assume that let the numerator be x, then let the denominator be y. So the fraction will become equal to x by y. Now going according to the question, a fraction becomes 1 by 3 when 1 is subtracted from the numerator. So x minus 1 by y. When 1 is subtracted from the numerator, the fraction becomes 1 by 3. And then the fraction, it becomes 1 by 4 when 8 is added to the, it becomes 1 by 4 when 8 is added to the denominator. That's it, guys. These are the two equations we have got in the fractional form. So what will we do now? We will cross multiply and bring them in the non-fractional form, and then we can solve it by using any method. As they have not specified any method, they said you can use any method. So let's cross multiply them first. If you okay, let's consider this as equation 1 and equation 2. After cross multiplying, you will get like 3 into x minus 1 equal to y. And then let's bring all the variable terms one side and all numerical terms one side. 3x minus 3 equal to y. So it becomes like 3x minus y minus 3 equal to 0. Okay, let's keep 0 at the RHS and let all terms be in the LHS. Now let's do for the second equation, cross multiplication. It becomes like 4 into x equal to y plus 8. Now if you multiply this, it will become like plus 8. So let's bring all the terms towards LHS. So this is equation 2 and this is equation 1. Now using these two equations we have to solve. Again guys, so let me write both the equations next to each other so that we'll get to know which method we can use to solve them. Minus 3 equal to 0. This was first equation. And second one is, so guys, it's same. If you see, these both are same, right? In the last step also we did the same, so we can do by the elimination method. So we'll do minus here, plus becomes minus, subtraction, minus becomes plus. Now what will happen? Minus y and plus y got cancelled, and here 3x minus 4x becomes equal to minus x. Here minus 3 plus 8 becomes equal to plus 5 equal to 0. Now if we take this numerical term other side, x will become equal to, minus x will become equal to minus 5, which means minus minus will get cancelled and x will become equal to 5. Now if you put the value of x back in the equation, you will get the value of y. Let's put it in the which equation? Let's put in the first equation. So substituting, here you will be writing as substituting in equation 1. Then what you will get? If you substitute in equation 1, 3 into 5 minus y minus 3 equal to 0. Now we have to solve for y. It becomes 15 minus y minus 3 equal to 0. 15 minus 3 is 12. 12 minus y is equal to 0, which means y becomes equal to 12. That's it guys. X value you found, and you also found the value of y, which means what is the fraction? Fraction is 5 by y. Fraction equal to 5 by 12. Found the fraction. So one step is missing guys. What's the step? That is verification. So let's once verify it as well. We'll put the value of x and y back into the both the equations and check it is satisfying. Let's put in first equation first. 3 into 5 minus 12 minus 3. We should see if this is going to be equal to 0. This is 15. 15 minus 12 minus 3 is 15 minus 15 equal to 0. Hence verified from the first equation. Let's verify it from the second equation as well. 4 into value of x is 5 minus value of y is 12 minus 8. If you see, this becomes like 20 minus 8 minus 12 minus 8 becomes equal to minus 20. So 20 minus 20 becomes equal to 0. Hence even this one is verified. So both equation got verified, which means, okay, let me write it here, that this is the verification process. So this was the fraction which we found. That's it, guys. So the second sub question is over. Now I'll move aside. You can take the screenshot of this. We'll go to the third sub question. So it's simple, guys. What we did, we just assumed the variables. Let the numerator be x and denominator be equal to y, and then we followed the conditions. We first assumed the fraction and then we followed the condition. They said if you subtract 1 from the numerator, you will be getting the fraction as 1 by 3, and if you add 8 to the denominator, you will be getting fraction as 1 by 4. We just formulated it, cross multiplied it since it's in the fractional form. In fractional form itself, and stuff to solve, right? So we have to convert it to non-fractional form, and then we got these two equations in non-fractional form. So this was second equation, right, in non-fractional form. After that we saw that both the terms, I mean the term with y is same, which means we can easily do it using the elimination method. We followed the elimination method and then found the value of x, y, and then we also verified it. Lastly we wrote the fraction and concluded the question, right? That's it, guys, as simple as that. Now let's go ahead to the third sub question. So let me first read out the third sub question, guys. Third sub question says Yash scored 40 marks in a test, getting 3 marks for each right answer and losing 1 marks for each wrong answer. Right, add 4 marks been awarded for each correct answer and 2 marks been deducted for each incorrect answer. Find Yash should have, okay, so then Yash should have scored 50 marks. How many questions were there in the test? Okay. Okay, guys, in this question, no, there's a student called Yash. He is attending a test and they're saying that they are given 2 conditions, that in case so what's happening is that Yash scored 40 marks in a test, okay, and that's when they gave 3 plus 3 marks for each correct answer and minus 1 marks for each wrong answer. That time he scored 40 marks. And if they had given plus 4 for each correct answer and minus 2 for each wrong answer, then he would have scored 50 marks, correct? Now they're asking us what are the now they're asking us how many questions were there in the test. Getting it? This is an interesting question, guys. So now what we have to consider, like we have to consider the number of correct answers attempted by Yash to be equal to 0 to be equal to x. Getting it? So the number of correct answers answered by Yash is equal to x. The number of, okay, let the number of correct answers answered by Yash equal to x, and then the number of wrong answers answered by Yash equal to y. Okay guys, so the assumption step is over. Just a minute guys, I'll fill the ink in this marker. The ink got over, I guess. It's writing lightly. So now let's start formulating the equations. So they're telling for each correct answer, if it is plus 3 and minus 1 if for wrong, then he's scoring 40 marks. And if it was like plus 4 for each correct and minus 2 for each wrong, then he will be scoring, how much they said? They said 50 marks. Getting it guys? This was the condition given by them. They said if for each correct answer they give him plus 3 marks, and for each wrong answer if they deduct minus 1 marks, he'll be getting 40 marks, which means what we have to do, that is number of questions answered correct into the marks for each correct answer gives us the marks for the total marks which he'll be getting it right. So the equation will form like x into 3x minus 1 into y minus y equal to 40. Getting it? And then 4 into x minus 2 into y will give us 50. Getting it guys? How we formulate the equation? They said you will get plus 3 for each correct answer. So let number of correct answer be x, we assumed, right? For example, if 2 correct answers he has answered, then means he'll be getting 2 into 3, right? Because for each it is 3 plus 3 marks. For 2 it's going to be 2 into 3, that is 6. So we'll be writing as 3 into x, 3x. Getting it? That's it guys. So that's how we formulated these two equations. For wrong also similarly, y into this, that is y into minus 1 becomes minus y, and here minus 2 into y becomes equal to minus 2y. So now let me rub this thing and neatly write these two equations. Right, so this is equation 1 and equation 2. (3x minus y equal to 40), 4x minus 2y equal to 50. Equation 1 and equation 2. Now let's go ahead and solve it guys. So which method will solve? We'll solve by elimination method itself for this one as well, because it seems easy, right? Through elimination method. So what we should do for elimination method? Any two terms with x variable should be equal for elimination method. So let's make this term equal, that is here minus 2y is there, here minus y is there. Let's make it into minus 2y as well. So I'll multiply the entire equation with into 2. That time it will become like 6x minus 2y equal to 80. And here second equation we will write it as it is. It will become 4x minus 2y equal to 50. Now what we'll do? Now we'll do the subtraction, that is plus becomes equal to minus, minus becomes plus, plus becomes minus. So minus 2y and plus 2y will get cancelled. Here 6y minus 4y becomes equal to 2x. I mean 6x minus 4x becomes equal to 2x. Here 80 minus 50 becomes equal to 30. Then x will become equal to 30 by 2, 15. Now we will find the value of x by value of y by substituting the value of x back into the equation. So substituting x in equation 1. If I substitute it, what it becomes? It becomes 3 into 15 minus y equal to 40. This becomes 45 minus y equal to 40. I'll take y other side to the RHS and bring 40 to LHS. It becomes 45 minus 40 equal to y. So y will become equal to 45 minus 40 is 5. So Yash has answered 15 questions correct and 5 questions wrong. Getting it guys? This is the final answer. So before concluding it, let's verify it once. Verification you'll do by substituting the value of x and y back into both the equations. 3 into 15 minus 5 equal to 40 we have to check, because in RHS we are supposed to get 40. So 3 into 15 is 45. 45 minus 5 is 40. So it's verified with the first equation. Now let's verify with the second equation as well. 4 into 15 minus 2 into 5 becomes equal to 4 into 15 is 60. 60 minus 10 is 50. Right. So it's also verified from equation 2. So verification is done, guys. Now after verification, finally you can conclude that Yash has answered 15 questions correct and has answered 5 questions wrong. That's it, guys. This will be the conclusion. Now I'll move aside. You can take the screenshot. After this, let's go to the fourth sub question. So guys, now let's go to the fourth sub question, right? So the fourth sub question says, guys, there are two places A and B which are 100 kilometers apart on the highway. One car starts from A and another car starts at from B at the same time. If the car travel in the same direction at different speeds, they meet in 5 hours. If they travel towards each other, they meet in 1 hour. What are the speeds of the two cars? Okay, guys, they are saying there are two cars which are located 100 kilometers apart. That is, for example, let's take this. Here is car A and here is car B, and the distance between them, they are located 100 kilometers apart. They are saying in the first part of the question, if they travel in the same direction, somewhere here, let's consider, guys, somewhere here they are going to meet. Getting it? That is after 5 hours, which means the speed of car A is going to be more than car of speed B, because only then they both will be able to meet in the same location, right? For example, if the speed of car B will be more than speed of car A, then what will happen? A will never be able to reach still B, right? It will go somewhere quite ahead. So one thing which we get to know is that speed of car A is more than speed of car B. This is not actually required to solve the question. It's not an important aspect, but still it's important to know, right? Like to get an idea. And then the second condition they're saying is that if they travel in the same opposite direction. This was in same direction, right? If they travel in opposite direction, that is, if A travels like this and B travels like this, they are going to meet in 1 hour. Now the question is, find the speed of car A and speed of car B. So let's start formulating the equation, guys. So before formulating the equation, first step is assuming the variables, right? Assumption of the variables. So let's start assuming the variables. Let the speed of car A be equal to x kilometers per hour. Done. And then let the speed of car B be equal to y kilometers per hour. Done. Now let's start formulating it. They are saying it will become like, okay guys, for example, suppose these both A and B are meeting at this point after 5 hours. Getting it? Which means we should remember one formula, guys, that is speed equal to distance by time. Getting it? So distance equal to speed into time, right? Now if you see, guys, how many distance does A cover? A covers 100 plus some distance. B covers only this some distance. So what is the difference between the distances which they travel? A travel this much distance, guys. Getting it? And B travels this much distance. Getting it? So the difference between these two gives us 100. Getting it? The distance traveled by A minus the distance traveled by B is going to give us the distance between AB, which is nothing but equal to 100 kilometers, right? So the first equation is the distance traveled by A minus the distance traveled by B is equal to 100. Getting it? So distance equal to speed into time. We consider the speed of car A as x, which means we'll be writing as, and the time taken was 5 hours. They are given it as common. So for car A, the distance is 5 into x. X into 5. Speed into time, right? Speed is x and time is 5 hours, which means 5x. And for car, this was distance for car A, and distance for car B. is equal to 5 into y, because the speed of car B is y and the time is 5, right? So 5y. Now if you do the distance of car A traveled minus the distance of car B traveled gives us the distance between car AB, which means 5x minus 5y equal to 100 kilometers. Getting it, guys? How I formulated the first equation? Using the first condition itself I formulated. Using the first statement in the question itself I formulated. That is the distance traveled by A minus the distance traveled by B, because they both are traveling in the same direction. Getting it? If, for example, A travels this much distance and B travels only this much distance. For example, B starts from here itself. It travels only this much distance. Getting it? B travels only this much distance. A travels this much distance. And the distance between them are 100. Which means the difference between them should give you 100, right? So 5x minus 5y is going to give you 100. This is the first equation. And how we'll get the second equation? Second equation we'll get from the second statement in the question, in which they gave if they both travel in the same direction, they'll meet in 1 hour. Which means x plus y equal to, which means distance equal to 100, right? Yeah, distance equal to 100. The distance between A and B is 100. So 100 equal to speed of car A into time of car A plus speed of car B into time of car B. Getting it? 100 equal to speed of car A is x and the time is 1. So here it's going to be only 1. No, x multiplied by 1 is also x, and y multiplied by 1 is also y. So we can simply write as x plus y. Getting it? They met, the distance between A and B is 100 in the second case when they both are moving in the opposite direction, and the time took was 1 hour. Since it is 1, we have to actually multiply this. 1 into x. Speed is x, right? X into 1 is x. So the distance is x. For example, this covered x distance. Car A covered x distance and car B covered y distance. For example. So x plus y should give you 100, right? Because the distance between them is 100. And also distance equal to speed into time. Here the time given is 1 hour. So when 1 multiplied by any number is going to give you 1 only. No. So x multiplied by 1 is x and y multiplied by y multiplied by 1 is also y. So x plus y should give you 100. So that's the second equation which you get. So we'll do one thing, guys. We'll first simplify the first equation. You can divide all the terms of the one equation with a common number, right? So we'll divide all the terms with 5. That time what will happen? It will become like x minus y equal to 20. So this becomes your first equation and that becomes your second equation. Okay, I'll write the second equation also in this format. That is x plus y equal to 100. This is your second equation. As simple as that, guys. Now what we'll do? We'll write both the equation next to each other and solve them by any of the method, because in the fourth main question they have given that you can solve it by any of the method. I'll do it here. I'll write both the equations next to each other. X minus y equal to 20 and x plus y equal to 100. Now which method we'll solve, guys? We'll do it for the elimination method. It's already getting eliminated. You have to just add it. Minus y and plus y will get automatically eliminated, right? So there's no need to even change the sign, because we are not doing subtraction, we are doing the addition. These two will get cancelled as it is. These two, if you add, you will get us 2x, and if you add these two, you will be getting us 120. X you will get us 120 by 2, which is equal to 60. So it is 60 kilometers per hour. Now let's find the value of y. So we will substitute the value of x in equation 1. That time what will it happen? 60 minus x 60 minus y equal to 20. That time y will become equal to, we'll take y this side and bring 20 this side. That time y will become equal to 60 minus 20, which is 40. Getting it, guys? So the speed of car A, which we assume to be x, comes out to be 60 kilometers per hour, and the speed of car B, which we assume to be y kilometers per hour, comes to be equal to 40 kilometers per hour. Units are important, guys. Remember that, right? That's it, guys. As simple as that. Okay, we'll do the verification also before concluding it, right? We have to do the verification. How you will do the verification? You have to substitute these two back into the equations and check if the solution is going to be same. It's easy, guys. See, x plus y equal to 100. Here there's no need to even do it. I mean, in exam you have to do verification using I mean verbally you have to do it. Since it's very easy, I'll just tell it orally. In your exam you have to do verbally, right? So x plus y is equal to 100. So 60 plus 40 is equal to 100. Equation 2 verified. 60 minus 40 equal to 20. Equation 1 is also verified. As simple as that, guys. So done. That's it. Over. Fourth sub question is over. Now I'll move aside. You can take the screenshot, guys. At last you can conclude by saying the speed of car A is equal to 60 kilometers per hour and speed of car B is equal to 40 kilometers per hour. So shall I start rubbing now? Of that we'll go to the next sub question. So yeah, guys, now when I'm rubbing in this time, start reading the fifth sub question so that it will be easy for you people to understand it. You people will understand it quickly if you read it now itself. It will become easy when I solve it, right? Then read out the fifth question. The fifth question says like the area of a rectangular gets reduced by 9 square unit if the length is reduced by 5 units and breadth is increased by 3 units. If we increase the length by 3 units and breadth by 2 units, the area is increased by 67 square units. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. It's quite easy, guys. So first let's assume a hypothetical rectangle like this, and let's also assume the length as x meters and the breadth as y meters. And okay, we have to write it verbally also. Let the length of the rectangle be equal to x meters, right? And same, let the breadth of the rectangle be equal to y meters. Correct? No? Now let's start formulating the formulas to get the answer. They are telling it gets reduced by 9 units if the length is reduced by. Okay, so first place, what is the area of a rectangle, guys? Area of a rectangle is equal to length into breadth. Correct? No. Let us assume the area to be, now we have to assume one more variable, I guess. Just a minute, guys. Okay, let's assume the area to be equal to A equal to length into breadth. The original area is x into y. Correct? No. Now they are telling if the area gets reduced by 9, area becomes 9 minus 9 reduced by 9 if the length is reduced by 5 units and breadth is increased by 3 units. When length is increased by 5 units and breadth is reduced by 3 units. Just a minute. Yeah. No. Opposite I wrote. Length is reduced by 5 units and breadth is increased by 3 units. That time area becomes reduced by 9 units. And the second equation is it gets increased by 67 units. When length is okay, when length is increased by 3 units and breadth is increased by 2 units. That time what happens? Area gets increased by 67 units, right? Now you have to find the length and breadth, correct? Just a minute guys. Here I'm thinking how to go ahead. Okay guys, the thing is area is equal to x into y, right? Okay. So length is equal to x and breadth is equal to y. So I'll replace here also. L is equal to x, B is equal to y. L is equal to x, B is equal to y. Because both the places it should be same. One place it will be L into B, one place it will be x into y, means it can't be solved. So in place of A, what we can write? We can write x into y. So in place of A, we'll be writing xy. Getting it? So these are the two equations guys. Equation 1 and equation 2. If you solve these two equations, you'll be getting the value of x and y. Now solving this is the challenge now. Right? We have to just expand it and then let's see what the equation reduces to. Let's start expanding guys. I'll expand equation 1 here. Xy minus 9 equal to x, this multiplication you know, right? So it is xy plus 3x minus 5y minus 15. I'll bring xy one side. Okay, xy will get cancelled actually. If this xy comes here, it becomes xy minus xy, it will get cancelled, right? Gone. Minus 9 equal to 3x minus 5y minus 15. So I'll bring this 9 also to one side itself and let's keep 0 one side. So let's bring all terms one side. Minus 15, when minus 9 comes this side, it becomes plus 9. Minus 15 plus 9 becomes equal to minus 6 equal to 0. So we brought everything one side and equated other side to be equal to 0. This is equation 1 guys. Now let's do the same thing for equation 2 as well. I'll start expanding equation 2 here. Xy plus 67 equal to xy. Now I'll start multiplying it like this, right? Xy plus 2x plus 3y plus 6. That time it becomes like xy will again get cancelled, right? I'll cancel it here itself. And then I'll take even this to the other side. It will become 67 minus 67 it will become. Wait, I'll do it. 2x plus 3 plus 6 minus 67 becomes equal to minus 61 equal to 0. These are the two equations guys. This is your second equation. Getting it? This is the first equation and that's the second equation. Now let me write both the equation next to each other and start solving them using any of the method. So where shall I write it, right? So shall I write it here? Okay, I'll write it here itself. So 3x minus 5y minus 6 equal to 0. 2x plus 3y minus 61 equal to 0. Now guys, I'll do it using the which method? Elimination method itself. So for elimination method, what is required? You have to make both the terms same, right? Only then elimination will be, it can be done. So I'll do one thing. I'll multiply this whole term with 3 and this whole term with 2. That time what will happen? 2 into 3 will become 6 and here 3 into 2 will become 6. 6 both will become same. That time we can first eliminate x term and then with y term we can proceed ahead. Right? So what I'll do? I'll multiply this into 2 and this one into 3 and then write the new equation. I'll write the new equation here. It will be like 6x minus 10y minus 12 equal to 0. Here 3 is 6x plus 9y. So 61 into 3 is 183 minus 183 equal to 0. Now we will do the elimination, that is plus becomes minus becomes minus becomes plus. So this will get cancelled. This will become like minus 19. This will become like minus 19y. Here it becomes like 183 minus 12. It becomes equal to 161. No, 171 equal to 0. So y becomes equal to, so minus 19 y becomes equal to minus 171. So then y becomes equal to, I'll do it here. From here y becomes equal to, minus will get cancelled, 171 by 19. So what is 171 by 19? What's it, guys? To be honest, even I don't know, because I don't know the 19 table. I think it is 9. 190. It is 9. So y is equal to 9. 19 ones are 19 nines are. So y equal to 9. Now we have to find the value of x. Let's substitute it in any of these two equations, guys. Any of equation 1 and 2, is that right? Any of these two equations, let's substitute and find the value of x. I'll substitute in equation 2. Substituting in equation 2. That time what it will happen? It will become like 3x minus 5 into y is 9 minus 6 equal to 0. Now if we solve this, we'll get the value of x as well. 3x minus 45 minus 6 equal to 0. 3x equal to, so this becomes minus 51. When it goes other side, it becomes equal to 51. X becomes equal to 51 by 3. That time it will become equal to 17. Getting it? X become equal to 17 and y become equal to 19. So the length is 17 meters. Getting it? And the breadth is 9 meters. As simple as that, guys. That's the final answer. Done. Over. So what we did, guys, what we did is we first used this formula. This is the general formula which everyone should be knowing. Everyone will be knowing actually. That is area is equal to length into breadth. Here we considered length as x and breadth as 5 because that is what we have to find out. So it is an unknown variable, right? We have to assume it. So we assumed as x and y. When area equal to x into y, right? And then they give the conditions that if the length is reduced by 5 and the breadth is increased by 5, then the area is going to be reduced by 9. So area is reduced by 9 when the length is decreased by 5 and breadth is increased by 3. That was the first thing which we did. And then second equation also we formed it as it is. That is when length is increased by 3 and breadth is increased by 3, they said that area will get increased by 67. So we formulated as it is. Then what we did, we just expanded it. Nothing guys. We just did the algebraic expansion. And then we simplified both the equation. That's it. Still here, that was the step. And then both the equation we got it here. After that, we did the elimination method. As you learnt in the previous lectures and all, we have complete 2-3 lectures based on completely elimination method itself, guys. So if you don't know elimination method, you can go back to those lectures and watch it. It's in the playlist, right? So we did the elimination method here. And then we found the value of y first, as which came out to be 9. And then what we did, we substituted the value of 9 in any of these two equations. Usually that's what happened, right? When you find the value of one variable, substituting that back into the equation, any of the two equations will get the value of another variable. We substituted in equation 1 and then we got the value of x as well. X came out to be 17. Then we finally concluded that length is equal to 17 meters and breadth is equal to 9 meters. As simple as that, guys. But one thing which we didn't do still is verification step. So I'll do the verification here. Right. Verification. So in verification 3, first equation is like this now, 3 into 17, 3 into x minus 5 into y is 9 and then minus 6. We should see if it comes out to be equal to 0. 3 into 17 is 34, 51. 51 minus 45 minus 6. Yeah, guys, 51 minus 45 minus 6 is minus 51. It comes out to be 0, hence verified. Let's verify with the second equation as well. It is 2 into 17 minus 3 into 9 minus 61 equal to, we have to check it if LHS comes out to be RHS. RHS is 0. So 2 into 17 is 34. 34 minus 27. 34 minus 27 is 61. 1 minute. How? Just a minute, guys. There's more confusion here. Okay, it's plus here. The sign I didn't see. So 34 plus 27 minus 61. So this becomes plus 61 and this is minus 61. It becomes equal to 0. Hence even this one is verified. That's it, guys. So fifth question is done. I think this is the end of the exercise, right? Is there any other question? Just a minute, guys. Let me see it once. yeah guys, this is the end of the exercise 3.5. right, great guys, we have completed still 3.5 exercise. Still I think in 2 or 3 lectures we'll be able to complete the entire chapter. There's only the next topic is left out is the only topic left out in this chapter is equation reducible to a pair of linear equations in 2 variable. So till now 3 algebraical methods is also over. First we learned the substitution method, and then we learned the elimination method, which we are still using it, right? And then we also learned the cross multiplication method, and then now and then next lecture we'll go to the next topic. So all the 3 algebraical method is over guys. In the first 2-3 lectures we learned the graphical method to find the solution of a pair of linear equation, right? That was graphical, and these are algebraic methods. Algebraic further add 3 subdivisions. Always keep remembering this guys. I'm saying it multiple times so that you people won't forget it, right? That's the reason I'm saying it multiple times. Done. Okay guys, meet you in the next lecture with a new topic. Until then, bye.